So this is the skill rollout on my Glacial Hammer Inquisitor. The links for the main skill here are multi-strike, melee damage with attacks, melee physical damage, ancestral call, and hypothermia. Both hypothermia and multi-strike offer some utility in the form of more reliable freezes, and in this case, chill as well. And then Ancestral Call is the clear link we use, though we do swap this for Ruthless against particularly high health bosses. I do leave this in against bosses that get knocked back when Lion's Roar is on, because even though the damage is less, the DPS uptime is better and it's kind of a wash. So I just leave it in there. Or if you are fighting multiple tough enemies, like in a Syndicate encounter or something. For a movement skill, Shield Charge and Consecrated Path both are used. Obviously linked with Fortify and Faster Attacks, pretty standard for melee builds. Faster Attacks you definitely want because you run Kelm's Roots, your movement speed sucks, so you kind of rely on Shield Charge for mobility. And then Consecrated Path, pretty important in my opinion because of the Ascendancy nodes that you take that give damage boosts and utility. So you want to reliably proc Consecrated Ground, especially against tough enemies like Guardians or whatever. So I think this is a non-negotiable link here. Veil War Chief, just too much of a damage boost to pass up. And then we do link it here with Conk Effect and Melee Fizz. You could do LE damage to attacks or hypothermia or whatever. It's almost exactly the same damage. For me, it's like a 0.5% difference. So just see in Path of Building whatever currently offers you the most damage. It is going to vary based on if you have more flat cold damage, if you have more attack speed, etc., etc. But for me, it's basically a wash. Over here we have our mana reservation stuff. So Hatred and Herald of Purity both offer quite a bit of damage. And then Arctic Armor is a nice defensive bonus and gives a little redundancy on chilling tough enemies. But as well, you could run Herald of Ice here, and it gives a little bit of a damage boost and a little boost to clearing, but I feel like it's unnecessary. And the defensive bonuses you get here are more worth it. Finally, we have these last couple utility skills. So Frost Bomb, we use this to trigger Instruments of Virtue, the Ascendancy node, and in addition, the minus cold res and life and ES regeneration is also really valuable. And we also run Enduring Cry for endurance charge generation, since we do get up to 6 on the tree. They are linked to increased duration. If you had a 2-socket Tomb Fist, increased duration is far from necessary to link to these, but since we have the link, and I don't really like bothering with something like Summon Holy Relic or a Golem or whatever, I think that this is a good option, but you could certainly go with a Golem or whatever you want in its place. Finally, we have Focus here, which we get 3 mods activated when we turn it on. The chance to deal double damage, chance to, or excuse me, shock nearby enemies, and increased duration of ailments. So you get the offensive, defensive utility bonus from these, offensive in the form of this and this, but also utility here with the chill and freeze effects being augmented by this. As well, this does help to freeze and chill super endgamey stuff.